Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. I just paid my biggest tax bill quarterly that I've ever paid in my whole life in my business, and I was delighted to pay it. And I paid it on time on April 1st. Actually, I have till April 15th, but I paid it on April 1st, which is actually the very earliest I could have paid it because, we have to do the bookkeeping for January, February, March through March 31st to even know what it is. But I just want to talk about this because I feel like one of the biggest things that subconsciously holds women back from earning lots and lots of money is really this fear of managing the money. But guess what? I didn't do my bookkeeping. Someone else did my bookkeeping for me. I didn't pay my quarterlies. Someone on my team paid my quarterly taxes for me. It sounds wild, but the more you are able to grow your business, especially past the messy middle part, right? You really have way more resources than you even had when you were starting out small. If my business feels way more organized, way more in advance, way more stress-free than it did when I was making $3,000 a month. And I feel like people are really scared to pop out of the $3 to $10K a month because at that point you can kind of self-manage, right? And I get that there's a messy middle of hiring people. I get that there's a messy middle of creating systems. I get that that takes risk. But what I just want to say is maybe feel nervous about the transition, but don't feel nervous about having a beautiful, big, profitable, scaled business. It is far easier than having a business where you're living in fear and shrinking and barely making it by, feeling like you're living month to month, that same scarcity that almost comes from a day job, right? I just want to talk about this today because I think about this a lot. And I've shared this story before, but in my day job, I had this big aha moment. I am a very hard worker. So I worked very hard in my day job. And I remember I had gotten, I was working in residence life at a university. And I remember getting several promotions. And every time I got a promotion, I was nervous to say yes to the promotion. Number one, because I was in a very conservative church and my church mentors actually advised me against taking the promotion and making more money than my partner at the time because they felt it was healthiest to create that financial dependence on my partner, so that I didn't rock the boat of our dynamic. But I really wanted the job, not just for that it would make more money, but it was a better fit for me. So I took the promotion anyway. Thank God that I did. But what I want to say about that is I almost didn't take the promotion. I knew it would be a better fit for me as far as what I got to do in my job, but I was really nervous about it being more work. As women, we always equate more money to more work because to a certain extent, that's true. But every time I got the promotion and shifted into a new role, I had this big aha moment that actually my job in many ways was easier because number one, it was more aligned. And number two, the bigger you go up in a company, the more support you have, right? I remember my first promotion and I had an administrative assistant and I was when you grow in the company, and this is true for business too, as you scale your business, number one, it becomes easier because you're able to be more aligned and do more of the work. Right now, I mostly do coaching and content creation. When I was starting my business, I was doing my own bookkeeping. I was doing my own client scheduling. I was doing my own social media posting and email, email scheduling, right? I was doing all of the admin. And right now I do more of the work that feels aligned to me. So that feels lighter. The other thing that feels lighter is I have more support, right? And I realize at a certain point, oh my God, all these I worked for a very conservative Christian school. So at the time, all of the administrators were men, right? And in my mind, when I was like a 19-year-old girl, a 20-year-old girl, a 27-year-old girl, right? Like I was really like, wow, like they're making over 6 figures, but they're like hustling their booty off for that. And then I realized as I was getting these promotions, and as I was eventually offered the vice president position of student development, the first woman that would have ever been in that position, I ended up quitting and starting my business. But I realized, oh my God, if I would take this position that I think it was almost like a $200K a year position, which for me at the time, mind-blowing income at the time, right? I had this aha of like, oh my God, if I took that job, it would actually be much easier than any job I've ever had because I would be having so much support under me, right? I would be having people doing a lot of the work for me. So it's just, I want to say this because I want you to affirm to your body and let you know your body's safe to grow your business bigger, to make more money, because it's going to be easier. And I'm not saying that in a like, oh, sneeze and make 10K tomorrow type of way. I'm saying it really will be less work. It will be less time. It will be less stress because as you have a bigger business, for me, when I had a very tiny business, I could afford to be disorganized because it was just me in there, right? When I have team, I'm not going to be disorganized because I don't want to burden them, right? Like I always create my podcast at least 2 weeks in advance because I don't want to disservice my team and make them have to hustle, right? That actually advantages me. Like so often we have higher standards for others than ourselves, right? Like I deserve also to have my podcast done 2 weeks in advance so I'm not stressed. And so that if I'm sick, everything's fine, right? Like, but so for me, it's nicer and easier with community inside my business with team members. You know, if something isn't going well, you know, my sweet OBM is like, that's okay. It's going to go better next time. Like we can't underestimate the power of like, we deserve support inside our business. I get that the curve to get there is hard, right? Like I remember like hiring my first VA, it really felt uncomfortable. Firing my first VA felt horrible, right? Like, and then even creating, like, I'm just not a natural like systems and structure person. And so like making a checklist or feeling like, what if my business doesn't even last? And I'm like doing all this organization, all these SOPs for nothing, right? I know that it's a new skill set to hire and to manage people. I know that it's a new skill set to have structure and be organized. But it's worth it. It's worth it for you. Just like at the start of your business, for me, creating sales skills and learning how to sell was like mind blowing. I really had never learned the skill of selling, even though I talk about like selling as innate to heart-centered entrepreneurs, because really we're just listening and leading. But it really, like I literally put on flashcards like my sales questions and like memorized my sales scripts, even though they were my own words, because I froze so much about selling. But once I learned the skill of selling, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really easy and aligned. Once I learned the skill of managing people, it really was like, oh, this is easy and aligned. And I saw how other things from my life like transferred to that, right? So anyway, like I'm just here to say that it is like, and I think it's like a patriarchal thing, right? I think back to like the corporate space. I think about who is traditionally like administrative assistants, it's women. Who is traditionally the vice presidents and the CEOs and the COOs, it's men, right? And so of course they want the illusion of like, oh, it's so hard to be a CEO. It's so hard to be a VP, right? I'm not saying that there isn't responsibilities or challenges, but what I'm saying is, in my experience, it was much harder. Like the administrative assistants like really ran the whole show of the school, right? Like, and I think about that so often in like my team. And I thank them ad nauseum, not just for the work they do, but my favorite thing to thank my VAs for is like, thank you for all that you do that I don't even see, right? That invisible labor. Like I call that out so much because I know part of the reason my business is so easy, not just because my VAs do the work that I ask, but they also do the work that I never ask them to do. that they see things, it's going to make me cry. And they just do it. They're just like, ooh, this would make Anna's life easier. Like, oh, and I thank them for that. And I acknowledge that. And I see that because I know in the stats tell us in the workplace too, that we don't quit jobs, we quit bosses, right? Like, even though, yes, financial compensation is super important, right? Like, research shows us that people stay in jobs because they feel appreciated and recognized. And I think that this is so important. Number one, for how we treat our team with kindness and respect. I have them fill out a survey when they start that asks like the way they like to be appreciated and rank 8 different ways, whether it's through cash bonuses or through, verbal recognition or gifts, right? I think that's important, but also a reminder for us in our job, right? Like, I'm a coach and I really have like 20 little bosses, right? When I have like 20 high touch clients or whatever in different capacities. And I think people, like, I remember someone being like, oh, you're so lucky at business because you don't have someone bossing you around. No, I really see my clients as people that I am servicing in the way of humility and in the way of like, I feel like I'm their assistant in the sense of like, I am here to serve you. I'm here to be your business partner. I'm here to be in that service mode. And just like my team does for me, make my clients' lives easier, like figure out. So an example of as I'm coaching, a lot of times I'll think of like several strategies at once while my client is talking, but I'll write most of them down and I'll just share one that I feel like is the best for them to take action on. And then I'll wait for like another session to bring up the other idea. Because I know as a coach, it's not for lack of ideas, it's lack of like action often that women are not making enough money. And so I'm continually doing my emotional labor for my clients. And I just think like that's one of the biggest things that we do as women, right? So I just want to share some affirmations for you. Even if you're not in the place of scaling to, 20, 30, 40K months yet, I want you to affirm in your body, it's safe for me to make 40K months. It's safe for that too. I think this is like a 65K month for me or something. And truly, it's actually been, I can share more later, but I've had some major, major health challenges this month, unfortunately. And I've been in the doctor a lot. I'm okay. But it's not been a very easy personal month. And I've spent a lot of time on myself personally while I'm making like a massive amount of money. And it really only is that way because I work my 3-day work week. I have amazing 3 women working for me. Maybe I like the number 3 or something. But it really is, my business really is easy right now. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying I don't have challenges, but I really have a business where my nervous system can relax, where I can unplug and be present with my kids. My kids are on spring break right now. So even though I do have them in like part-time day camp, we get to sleep in and hang out and eat breakfast till 9 or 10 a.m., right? And then we've been going to the pool every night and going out to dinner. And like, I feel very chilled. And that's what I want you to affirm. Like, it's safe to me to make 40, 50, 60K a month and be very chilled. Like, it's safe for my nervous system to be regular. I think like that's our fear is like, you don't want to make a lot of money. And like I remember when I was making like 3, 5, 8, 10K months, I was feeling stressed out and overworked, right? So of course we aren't going to want to make more money if we feel like that's going to burn us out. I did a money devotion workshop recently and talked about this, that it's so important that we, not just look at our big goal, like paying off our debt or buying a house or traveling or building our retirement. Those are really good. But what's also important is these micro goals about the way we'll get there, right? I talk about my client, Carla, who was public with her story. I'm really grateful and really shared she was nervous about going from where she was at to multiple 6 figures because she was nervous it would burn out her and take a toll on her body and on her family. She ended up growing her business to $750,000 and shrinking her work week to under 20 hours a week. But it was only because she was able to affirm, oh, I can do that while caring for my body and nervous system. So really identify, for me, it was like I was afraid more money would make me a bad mom. Like that's my worst fear, is like because that's my biggest value. My biggest value is to be a patient and present mama to my kids. I wish I could say it was because I knew I deserved a business where, I work 3 days a week so I can go to yoga. Yes, that's part of it, but that's not the honest damn truth. The truth is that I just naturally in this like protector mama bear of my kids. Maybe it's because I'm a single mom. I don't know. But I roll with it. Like, that's just like, we can be honest with ourselves. Like, the truth is I'm not going to like, I'm going to do what I need to take care of my babies. And so for me, I just embraced that. And I was like, okay, if I'm nervous that growing my income will make me a bad mom, what if I believe that growing my income can actually make me an even better mom? And I see that to be true, not because money changes us in the sense of it changes our ethics and morals, but like it gives me more capacity and resources. And I think that's the truth we don't want to admit, is that money is resources, right? Like us being able to go out to eat all the time. Like my kids wanted new clothes, so we went to Kohl's and spent like, $600 on new clothes because they hadn't had a refresh in a while, right? Like, and I know it's not just like the material stuff, but for me, like I'm really able to like slow down and do bedtime stories and be present because I am not worried about money. Like when we are worried about money, we don't want it to be about money, but when we're not making enough, then it is about that, right? Anyway, here's some affirmations for you. It's safe for me to be chill, to have a nervous system that's super regulated as I'm making more money. Like it's safe for me to be a good mom or a good wife or a good sister or a good whatever it is, right? It's safe for me to still have time to take care of my mental health challenge, my physical health, chronic illness, whatever it is for you, really affirming it's safe for you to make more money, and making more money will make it easier to care for that, right? To have capacity for your mental health, for your physical health. In my experience, life is gonna life, right? But life is a lot easier when we have resources and capacity to care for it and to show up for it and be able to pay for things we need to. And that's heart-centered, right? I shared on the webinar too, like what we make heart-centered meaning is like not making it about the money and being a people pleaser. And like, that's not being heart-centered. Being heart-centered is being honest, using our voice, showing up, doing the work, and honestly making money. And it's safe for you to, when I, was making like 3 to 5K a month, I was not paying my taxes this far in advance. I was doing my bookkeeping for myself, right? Like I just, again, reminding yourself, like, I think it's a patriarchal message that growing our business or getting promotions is harder, but it's not. More money, more resources is easier when you do it right, when you do it with intention. Right? When you do it in a sustainable way, when you do it in a way that's grounded, when you do it with support, it's easier. It's safe for me to make more money and be even more grounded, be even more resourced than I am now, be even in more alignment, especially for heart-centered women when we like our job. I love to coach. So nothing makes me happier that Thursday afternoons and Wednesday mornings, opposite. Thursday mornings and Wednesday afternoons, I get to sit with women and coach on Zoom. Like that makes me super happy, right? What doesn't make me happy is being bogged down with all the other stuff, right? But reminding yourself, it's actually not the work that you're afraid of for most heart-centered women, right? We're doing this because that's the work we actually want to do. And I think the online world is obsessed with like, make a business where you don't have to work. For me, I'm obsessed with like, where can I create a business where I'm doing the work that I love? The work that really, even if I didn't get paid, I would hope that I would get to do. And in some ways it's like, oh, is this too good to be true? I'm like, people are paying me for work that I love. I love, love, love working with women that are working to create more money and resources and find freedom and breakthrough in their happiness, in their financial resources. Like that is just my dream and is very fulfilling for me to do that deep work. And so yeah, just reminding yourself it's safe to be even more fulfilled and aligned. It's safe for me to feel supported. It's safe for me to grow through some minor growing pains to get to more peace, more success, more income, more resources. It's easier on the other side. It's easy on the other side. It's aligned, right? It's filled with ease. And just reminding your body that it's safe for you to do that while you prioritize whatever it is to you outside of work and business, right? Safe for me to scale my business on the 3-day work week. Want to share with you that if you are in a chapter of feeling like you're ready to reignite momentum, recommit to some bigger income goals, I would love to invite you to Get and Coach, which is my program for 3 months, live support with me, and really an accelerator. It's great if you're starting your coaching business for the first time, but I also think it's a secret weapon for women that are at that like 5K month mark and really ready for like breakthrough and really ready to relaunch their offers, launch a scale group program, and really get into some bigger income months. I've seen it work for several of my clients this way as like this little like secret weapon for scaling. And so I'd love to invite you. I'm doing a free workshop, and I'm going to put the link below if you're interested in working with me to grow and scale your coaching business in particular. I had to pause for a second because my son was calling from camp. They forgot their swimsuits. It's swim day. So again, like what a blessing that I can just like stop what I'm doing and like go drop those by, right? And anyway, so inviting you to this live workshop. I really feel like live workshops with me are great because in a moment in time, I'm forcing you to prioritize you and your business. You've got so much going on with current clients, with your family, but it's really an hour of learning and really breaking some of your money mindset beliefs and expanding the way that you're thinking strategically about your coaching business. So I will put the link below for you to register. I also am happy to do a 10-minute clarity call with you if you are thinking about, 90 days of coaching with me to grow your business. Even though this is like my quote entry-level program, so it's very affordable, I'm still happy to do a 10-minute call with you because I really think the coaching space has gotten away from the ethics of it's safe for you to work with a coach that cares about you, that makes space for you, that is going to be there to talk with you and answer your questions to make sure that this is a fit for you. I'll also put the info to Get and Coach Your First Client, my program. It's a really great info page with lots of client stories and also lots of great case studies of women that have gone through this exact method that I teach. It is the method that I believe works best organic for free for women to sign paying coaching clients online who are aligned and heart-centered. So you can learn all about the method that I teach. And I do several case studies of women that started with no clients and several case studies of women that started, in the middle of business, but were able to launch their group programs or scale to 50K months. Like I have lots of different case studies in there. So whether you're someone that's starting from scratch, or maybe you have a done for you business and you're transitioning to coaching, or maybe it's just been a little feast and famine for a little bit, there is a case study that will meet you where you're at. And just excited to invite you into this conversation and give you permission that it's safe for you to make more without burning out. Okay, have a beautiful day. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.